Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my review of tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw. And tonight's Raw was from Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center, and it's the same arena that the Royal Rumble was in last night, and of course NXT TakeOver Philly was at the same arena also, and SmackDown is going to be at the same arena tomorrow night. The Wells Fargo Center. So if you haven't checked out my previous video I uploaded earlier, I reviewed the Rumble. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And I thought tonight's Raw, I thought it was a decent, solid, good show. I really enjoyed Raw tonight. A lot of good stuff happened. We had two matches tonight that were of pay-per-view quality matches. Asuka and Sasha Banks, and John Cena and Finn Balor. And let's get on with the review. The show opened with Stephanie McMahon coming out, talking about how Raw celebrated its 25th anniversary last week, and she goes on to talk about the Women's Royal Rumble. She also talks about Ronda Rousey making her debut last night at the Rumble after the Women's Rumble match, and she then introduces the winner of the Women's Rumble, which was Asuka, and Asuka comes out to say who will she face at WrestleMania. And we couldn't hear Asuka that well, with her talking. But Stephanie says, Alexa, this is gonna be this is another making history thing right here, where Stephanie goes on to announce that Alexa Bliss will defend her Raw Women's title in the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match. So that's going to be at Elimination Chamber on the 25th of February next month, and that's cool that they're making the they're doing first time stuff for the woman. Now we had the first ever Women's Money in the Bank. We had the first ever Hell in a Cell match with Sasha and Charlotte. And we had the first ever Women's Royal Rumble last night. And then now, next month at Elimination Chamber, we're going to have the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match. And so pretty much probably next week on Raw, they'll probably have qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber. And I like how that, that they're building up for this, for the pay-per-view next month. And Asuka says that at WrestleMania she will be the champion and that nobody is ready for her. Sasha Banks ends up coming out saying, last night, of course the woman made history with the Women's Rumble. She congratulates Asuka on her win of winning the Rumble, and Sasha says that she is ready for Asuka tonight. And Stephanie then ends up making the match official. And of course, it will be Sasha versus Asuka. And pretty much that ended the segment right there. It was a good opening segment to Raw tonight. And Raw tonight, they had a new look to it, like new graphics and everything. We had Jonathan Coachman back on commentary on Raw in many years. He's replacing Booker T, because Booker T is now going back to the kickoff pre-shows for the pay-per-views now. So Jonathan Coachman is going to be a full-time commentator on Raw now, which is really awesome. When I heard him on commentary tonight, it felt like a throwback to when he was on commentary during the Ruthless Aggression era in like 04, 05, around there, before he became Vince, Mr. McMahon's assistant during that time. But yeah, it was cool hearing Coach again on commentary. And then after the opening segment ended, Braun Strowman ended up coming out. Got a big crowd reaction, from the crowd. He ended up coming out. He ended up taking stuff from out of the ring because the match was Strowman versus Kane. It was a last man standing match, and the winner of the match gets to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. Will be in the Elimination Chamber match at the pay-per-view next month because it was announced by Kurt Angle earlier today. And this match, this was the perfect match for Strowman. Went around the arena, went through the crowd, and he had the match end with Braun Strowman tipping the Raw announce table, the commentary booth, onto Kane, and pretty much that led Strowman to win the match. So Strowman is the first person to qualify, to be in the Elimination Chamber match, which is really awesome. But Kane ended up having to be put on a stretcher and taken to a medical facility, which we all know this is probably time for Kane to to take a couple of weeks off, to get off TV. So this is why they do that, for this superstar to get off of TV for a while. So, but all in all, the match was pretty good. Really liked it, and it was a perfect match. It was the perfect match for Strowman. And after the match ended, Corey Graves, was asking Strowman, why did he do that? And Strowman said Kurt ended up putting him in a last man standing match, and that is what he did. And so Strowman ends up walking to the back, which the match started when Raw was still on a commercial break, and then when it came back, we just saw Strowman and Kane go at it. So, and then when Raw came back from commercial, we saw Kurt Angle. He came to Braun Strowman backstage. Kurt was furious with Strowman, saying, "Oh, every week you're putting superstars, in danger every week." And then he asks Braun, to give him a break. And Braun says to Kurt that at Elimination Chamber, he will be the last one standing, winning the chamber match. And he says at WrestleMania, he will be the last one standing when he beats Lesnar, because the person who wins the Elimination Chamber match, they get to face Lesnar at WrestleMania for the Universal title. So pretty much there's a way, one of these qualifying Elimination Chamber matches, some way they're going to put Roman Reigns in it. And then they're just going to do their idea that they've been talking about, have Roman Reigns versus Lesnar for the Universal title, in which Roman will probably take the Universal title off of Lesnar. Lesnar will drop the Universal title to Roman. So, and then after we had that backstage thing with Kurt Angle and Braun Strowman, Elias was in the ring talking about Elimination Chamber, and he ends up singing a song about the road to WrestleMania, singing about Lesnar, and he says that it's going to be Elias's night after he wins the Chamber, and that Lesnar will be in danger because of him. It was pretty much boring. with Elias. And then we had, Elias versus Matt Hardy. Another qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. And this match was pretty good. You see that they're building up Elias. We all knew that Matt Hardy wasn't going to win it. They're still going to continue the feud with him and Bray Wyatt. But the match ended with Elias winning, hitting the drift away on Matt Hardy to score the win because Bray Wyatt distracted with the Bray Wyatt's sort of a Titantron thing. So Elias is now in the Elimination Chamber match. So, and then we had, after the match, Bray Wyatt was on the Titantron, and he was just laughing hysterically at Matt Hardy because Matt Hardy ended up losing the match because Bray cost Matt the match to continue the rivalry between him and Matt Hardy. So, but all in all, it was a good match. Was entertaining because of Matt Hardy. And then we had a rematch from last week. It was The Miz versus Roman Reigns for the Intercontinental title. And this was a decent match, another decent match. Really enjoyed this. Miz and Roman going at it again after the match last week, where Miz ended up taking back the Intercontinental title. You had the Miz Taraj get involved in some parts of the match, and Roman ended up chasing them away, chasing both Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas away, because Roman ended up getting a steel chair. He just ended up chasing off the Miz Taraj, and it looked like that Roman was gonna hit Miz with the chair, but the ref was shouting at him saying, "Oh, I will disqualify you if you hit him with the chair." And so pretty much Roman just dropped the chair, and the match continued. The Miz Taraj came back out. They got involved. Roman ended up throwing in Curtis ended up throwing in Bo Dallas. Roman ended up hitting the Superman punch to Curtis Axel, and Curtis Axel went face first into the announce table there because they built another announce table ringside for Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Coach. After Strowman tipped it over, where they normally sit. So Curtis Axel went face first into the table, and then Roman speared Bo Dallas, and it led to Miz win the match. He ended up rolling up Roman Reigns to score the win and still retain the Intercontinental title. So, but it was a good match. It was a decent match, in my opinion. And then we had the Revival versus Heath, Slater, and Rhyno, which was okay. It wasn't the best match of the night, though, but the Revival still dominating. Really like the Revival. I said my Royal Rumble review, they're probably the best tag team to come up from NXT. They just, did a good job. They were out for many months, but it was good to see them. Good to see them have this match. But they got the win. They hit the Shatter Machine on Rhyno. So, but all in all, it was okay. It wasn't the best match of the night. Then you had after it, they were being interviewed. Wilder says, the crowd are, chanting ECW to get themselves over. And, him and Scott Dawson, he said that, the crowd has learned from the past and that the crowd is stuck in the past. So it was just that little interview that they had, the Revival. But like I said, it was an okay match, but not the best match of the night. And then we had Renee Young interviewing Sasha about going into a match with Asuka, which was happening next. And Sasha says, she's been waiting for this opportunity for a while, and that, it's her turn to make history and, and break Asuka's undefeated streak, because Asuka's been undefeated for 2 years now. If you remember, her time in NXT, she was pretty much undefeated. She was undefeated. So, and she's keeping up with this record on the main roster now. So we had we had a little bit of heel Sasha, her heel persona when she was in NXT. So we saw that a little bit tonight. And so we get on with the match. It was Asuka versus Sasha, a dream match that is pay-per-view. That was pay-per-view quality, and this was a good match. They had an awesome match, both Asuka and Sasha. And I have to say, it was the first best match of the night, in my opinion. They just put on an awesome match, both of them. It was really, really, it was really good, really well done match between them. Because we had at times where Sasha locked in the bank statement on Asuka, which we all thought that probably Asuka was going to tap. Her undefeated streak was going to come to an end. But, we had Asuka locking the armbar on Sasha. And it was pretty much going back and forth between them. And then we had at the end, Asuka had in the armbar on Sasha. Sasha ended up tapping. So Asuka's undefeated streak still continues, which is good. And I know, that it's probably gonna be at WrestleMania. Asuka's gonna, win the Raw Women's title. Alexa is gonna drop it to Asuka. So and then Asuka's probably gonna have a long Raw Women's title run. So. But there's gotta be some time where Asuka's undefeated streak is gonna come to an end. So, but Asuka and Sasha, it was an awesome match. It was the first best match of the night, in my opinion. It was a dream match, and it was pay-per-view quality type match. And then after that we had Cesaro and Sheamus versus Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil for the Raw Tag Team titles. And this match was surprisingly good. It was a little bit slow in the beginning, but then it picked up really well. Apollo and Titus were impressive tonight in this match against Cesaro and Sheamus. But in the end, you had Cesaro and Sheamus win the match. They did a double team, and they still retained the Raw Tag Team titles. But like I said, it was a surprisingly decent match. I was really impressed with Apollo and Titus tonight. They look like that they're building them up. They could be the future Raw Tag Team champions, but we just gotta wait and see until that time comes. But yeah, enjoyed the match though. And then we had the main event, John Cena versus Finn Balor, another qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. And this was the last best match of the night. This was a good main event. This was another dream match that we would never see. And this was another match that was pay-per-view. That was a pay-per-view quality type match. Just this match was really awesome. The crowd at one point in the match, they were booing Cena, and Cena was like, "Oh, I'm just trying to get to WrestleMania, to try to go to WrestleMania," and then the crowd was just, just booing him. And we had, I think, at some point in the match, the crowd was looking to the side, which a beach ball was probably being thrown around, and then security probably got it, and that's when the crowd started booing and chanting "asshole." So, but the match itself, it was very entertaining from Cena and Balor. Both of these guys just gave it all they got in this match. You had at one point Cena trying to give the AA to Balor, and Cena was doing the too sweet, which was really funny. And the match ended with Cena hitting a super AA to Balor from the top, and pretty much Cena now is gonna be in the chamber match next month at the pay-per-view, the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So now it's Strowman, Elias, and Cena now qualified for the Elimination Chamber match. And next week is probably going to be the last three people for the last three superstars who get to be in the Elimination Chamber. So, but we'll see who is going to be in the Elimination Chamber next. So I like that. I like that they're building up already for the Elimination Chamber. We're still like 4 weeks away. 4 weeks away from the pay-per-view. So, but yeah, it was, like I said, it was enjoyable Raw tonight. It was a solid, good show. Good Raw tonight. Let's hope SmackDown delivers a good show tomorrow. A decently good show tomorrow. So, but yeah, so anyways, that's it for my review of tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow night for my SmackDown review and my review also in the SmackDown review of the Mixed Match Challenge. So until that video, I'll see you all back here tomorrow night.